The kettle whistles. Emma turns it off before it gets too loud. For a moment, she just stands there, watching the steam disappear into the air. The kitchen feels smaller than usual. Or maybe it's just quieter. Voices drift in from the living room. It's already decided, Ryan says. Emma doesn't move. Linda's voice follows, softer, measured. We'll explain it properly. She's not unreasonable. A faint clink of glass. Daniel speaks next, low but firm. You're not listening. This isn't something you explain. Ryan exhales sharply. Then what do you suggest? We wait until the bank takes the house. Silence stretches. Emma's fingers press into the edge of the counter. Linda again, quieter now. It's just marriage, Daniel. Not a tragedy. Emma closes her eyes briefly. Then she pours the tea like she didn't hear anything. Dinner is already set. 4 plates. 5 chairs. Sophie adjusts one of them slightly, aligning it with the table edge as Emma walks in. You're home early, Linda says, smiling too quickly. Emma sits down. Nothing urgent today. Ryan scrolls through his phone without looking up. Must be nice. Sophie glances at Emma, then at Ryan, like she's waiting for something more interesting to happen. Daniel watches Emma instead. Too closely. Emma notices. She picks up her fork, then sets it down again. Is there something you want to tell me? The question lands lightly, but it doesn't stay that way. Linda laughs, a little too fast. Why would you say that? Emma shrugs. You're all thinking very loudly. Ryan finally looks up. We're just having dinner. Emma nods once. I'll do it. Silence. Linda blinks. Do what? Emma meets her eyes without hesitation. The marriage. Ryan leans back slowly, studying her. You already knew? Emma tilts her head slightly. Should I not have? Sophie lets out a small breath that almost becomes a laugh, but she swallows it when Linda glances her way. Linda reaches across the table, her fingers hovering near Emma's hand. Emma pulls hers back, not quickly, just enough. If this helps, Emma says, then it's fine. Daniel's chair scrapes faintly against the floor. No. It's the first sharp sound in the room. Everyone turns to him. Emma doesn't. Ryan frowns. What do you mean, no? Daniel looks at Emma now, his voice steadier than before. You don't have to decide tonight. Emma finally lifts her gaze to meet his. Her expression is calm. Too calm. I already did. For a second, neither of them looks away. Something sits there unspoken, heavy. Emma breaks it first. She picks up her fork again like nothing happened. Later, the hallway is dim. Sophie leans against the wall, arms crossed. You surprised them, she says. Emma pauses at her door. Did I? Most people would cry first. Or argue. Emma considers that for a moment. I might later. Sophie watches her carefully. You won't. Emma gives a faint smile. It doesn't reach her eyes. Good night, Sophie. She closes the door before Sophie can say anything else. Inside her room, Emma leans back against the door. She doesn't move for a while. Then she exhales, slow and controlled, and walks to her desk. Her laptop opens with a soft click. A blank folder appears on the screen. She types, family. Stops. Deletes it. Types again, records. She sits back, listening. Voices seep through the wall. Ryan's voice, clearer now. That was easier than expected. Linda responds immediately. Don't say it like that. Like what? It worked. A pause. Daniel again, quieter this time. You don't hear yourself. Emma reaches for her phone. Opens the recorder. Moves closer to the door. Ryan's voice sharpens. We don't have a choice. Daniel answers, there's always a choice. Linda cuts in, almost tired. Not one that saves us. Emma presses record. Her hand doesn't shake. She steps back and sits on the edge of her bed, listening as their voices blur into fragments. Loan, deadline, agreement. The words float, disconnected. Emma doesn't react. Not outwardly. She plays the recording. Ryan's voice fills the room, clear and careless. She rewinds. Plays it again. Her face stays still, but her jaw tightens just enough to notice. A soft knock interrupts. Emma pauses the audio. Come in. Daniel opens the door halfway, like he's not sure he's allowed inside. I didn't know they would tell you like that, he says. Emma looks at him. They didn't. He hesitates. Then how? I heard enough. Daniel nods slowly, like that makes it better. I'll fix it, he says. Emma tilts her head slightly. How? He doesn't answer. Because he can't. Emma glances down at her phone, then back at him. You don't have to. Something shifts in his expression, relief, maybe, but not the kind that feels right. I'm still your father, he says quietly. Emma holds his gaze. Yes. The word sounds polite. Nothing more. After he leaves, the room feels quieter than before. Emma waits until his footsteps disappear. Then she presses play again. Later that night, she walks past the living room. The lights are off, but voices carry through the dark. Ryan again, impatient. We just need her to stay like this until the wedding. Emma slows, just slightly. Linda's voice drops. Lower your voice. Why? She agreed. A pause. Then Sophie, softer, almost amused, she didn't agree. She just didn't fight. Emma keeps walking. Her phone is already recording. Back in her room, she saves the file. She names it, Truth One. For a long moment, she just looks at the words on the screen. Then she sets the phone down and lies back on the bed. Her eyes close. But sleep doesn't come. After a few seconds, she reaches for the phone again. Presses play. And listens, carefully this time, like she's learning something she'll need later. Emma wakes before the alarm. The room is still dim, the early light barely touching the curtains. For a few seconds, she just lies there, staring at the ceiling. Then she reaches for her phone. Truth One. She doesn't play it this time. Just looks at it. Then locks the screen and gets up. In the kitchen, Linda is already there. She turns when Emma walks in, like she's been waiting. You didn't sleep well? Linda asks, pouring coffee. Emma takes a glass of water instead. I slept enough. Linda nods, like that answer is acceptable. There's a pause. I spoke to them, Linda says. The family. Emma leans against the counter. That was fast. They're very efficient people. Emma almost smiles. I'm sure they are. Linda studies her face. You don't seem nervous. Emma shrugs. Should I be? Linda hesitates, then softens her tone. It's a big change. Emma nods. So is losing the house. Linda's hand tightens slightly around the coffee cup. You understand more than I expected, she says. Emma looks at her, not unkindly, but not gently either. I understand enough. Ryan walks in, still half asleep, checking his phone. Morning, he mutters. Emma glances at him. Busy day? Always. He opens the fridge, then pauses. They want to meet you. Emma doesn't react immediately. When? Soon. Before the engagement is announced. Emma nods once. Okay. Ryan watches her for a second longer than necessary. You're taking this, very calmly. Emma turns to him. Would you prefer something else? Ryan smirks faintly. Just making sure you don't change your mind. Emma holds his gaze. I won't. Ryan nods, satisfied, but there's something uneasy in the way he looks away. Later. Emma sits at her desk, papers spread out in front of her. Not wedding-related. Bills. Notices. Numbers. She flips through them slowly, scanning. A figure catches her attention. She leans closer. Then reaches for her phone, taking a photo. Another page. Another number. Her movements are careful, methodical. Like she's building something. A knock on the door. Emma closes the folder halfway. Come in. Daniel steps inside this time. He looks at the papers, then at her. What are you doing? Looking. At what? Emma taps the stack lightly. What this is really about. Daniel exhales slowly. You don't need to carry this, he says. Emma leans back in her chair. Someone already decided I do. That's not what I meant. Emma studies him. I heard you, she says quietly. Daniel stiffens. Heard what? Last night. Silence. He looks away first. Emma watches him carefully now. You said there was a choice. Daniel nods faintly. There is. Then why didn't you make it? The question is simple. It doesn't feel that way. Daniel's jaw tightens. It's not that easy. Emma tilts her head. It wasn't easy for me either. He doesn't answer. Because there's nothing he can say that fixes it. That afternoon. The house feels different. Quieter, but heavier. Sophie scrolls through her phone in the living room, her expression unreadable. Emma walks past. Sophie speaks without looking up. You're meeting him soon, right? Emma stops. That's what I heard. Sophie finally looks at her. You're curious? Emma considers that. Should I be? Sophie smiles slightly. Most people would be. Emma nods. Then I'll try to be normal. Sophie lets out a small laugh. You're not normal. Emma doesn't react. Sophie leans forward slightly. Just be careful. Emma meets her eyes. Of what? Sophie's smile fades just a little. Of thinking you're in control. A pause. Emma says nothing. Then she walks away. Evening. Emma sits alone in the backyard. The sky is turning darker, the air cooler. She scrolls through her phone, photos of documents, recordings, timestamps. Everything neatly organized. Everything quiet. Footsteps approach. Daniel again. He stops a few feet away, like he's unsure how close he's allowed to get. You shouldn't go through this alone, he says. Emma doesn't look up. I'm not alone. It sounds like a contradiction. He notices. Emma. She finally looks at him. There's something you're not telling me. Daniel freezes. Just for a second. But she sees it. What is it? She asks. He shakes his head. It's not the right time. Emma studies his face. You said there was a choice, she says again. Yes. Did you make it? Daniel looks at her, and for the first time he looks tired. I tried. Emma's expression shifts, just slightly. Trying isn't the same as stopping it. I know. The honesty lands heavier than any excuse. Emma looks away first this time. Inside. Ryan's voice cuts through from the hallway. They confirmed. Tomorrow. Emma stands up slowly. Tomorrow, she repeats. Ryan steps into view. Meeting Alex. His family's not coming. Just him. Emma nods once. Good, she says. Ryan raises an eyebrow. Good. Emma gives a faint, unreadable smile. Less people to impress. Ryan watches her carefully again. Like he's trying to figure something out. Later that night. Emma sits on her bed, phone in hand. A new folder is open. Truth 2. Empty. For now. She scrolls through what she already has. Pauses at one recording. Not the same as before. A shorter one. Daniel's voice. There's always a choice. Emma presses play. Listens. Then whispers, almost to herself. Then why didn't you choose me? Her phone lights up with a new message. Unknown number. She hesitates. Opens it. We'll meet tomorrow. 10 a.m. Don't be late. No name. Just that. Emma reads it again. Then types. I won't be. She doesn't ask who it is. She already knows. She sets the phone down. But her eyes don't leave it. Something shifts in her expression, not fear, not hesitation. Something sharper. More focused. Across the hall, voices start again. Muted. Careless. Familiar. Emma doesn't get up this time. She just reaches over. And presses record. By morning, she has a second file saved. Not as long. But more precise. She stares at the name before saving it. Then types slowly. Truth 2. And this time. She almost smiles. Emma arrives 10 minutes early. The cafe is quiet, mostly empty. Soft music, low voices, nothing that demands attention. She chooses a table near the window not for the view, but for the reflection. It lets her see the entrance without turning her head. She orders nothing. Just waits. At exactly 10, the door opens. He walks in without hesitation, like he already knows where she is. Alex. He doesn't look around much. Just enough to confirm. Then he walks straight to her table. "You're early," he says. Emma glances at the clock on the wall. "You're on time." He sits across from her. No handshake. No polite introduction. For a moment, neither of them speaks. A server approaches, but Alex lifts a hand slightly. Later. The server nods and leaves. Emma watches him. Calm. Measuring. "You don't seem surprised," he says. "About what?" "About me." Emma tilts her head slightly. "Should I be?" Alex studies her face, like he's looking for something specific. Most people would ask questions by now. Emma folds her hands loosely on the table. Most people weren't told the details after the decision was made. That lands. Alex leans back slightly. "So you didn't agree to this?" Emma holds his gaze. "I said yes. That's not what I asked." A pause. Emma's lips curve just enough to not be a smile. "Does it matter?" Alex doesn't answer immediately. "Then, it does to me." Emma looks out the window for a second, watching a car pass. Then back at him. "I understand the situation," she says. "That's enough." Alex's eyes narrow slightly. "You sound like you're negotiating. Am I not?" Another pause. Then Alex exhales softly, almost amused. "You're different than they described." Emma doesn't ask what they said. Instead, "And you're exactly what I expected." That sounds like an insult. It's not meant to be a compliment either. That almost makes him smile. A few minutes pass. This time, Alex orders coffee. Black. Emma still orders nothing. "You're not curious?" he asks. "About what?" "About why I agreed to this." Emma watches him closely now. "I assumed it was convenient." "For who?" "For you," she says simply. Alex stirs his coffee slowly, even though there's nothing in it. That's one way to look at it. Emma leans back slightly. "What's the other?" He looks up at her. "You tell me." Emma doesn't respond. Because she doesn't trust answers that come too easily. Across the table, something shifts. Not tension exactly. Awareness. Back home. The front door opens quietly. Emma steps inside, slipping off her shoes. Voices again. "Ryan and Linda." "It's moving faster than expected," Ryan says. "That's good," Linda replies. "The sooner it's done." "It's not done until it's signed." Emma walks past the hallway, her steps light, almost silent. Her phone is already in her hand. Recording. In her room. She closes the door softly. Plays back part of the conversation. Adds it to the folder. Truth 2. Updated. She pauses. Then opens another file. The one with Daniel's voice. There's always a choice. She listens again. This time, something feels different. Not the words. The tone. Later that evening, Emma walks into the living room. Everyone is there. Ryan on his phone. Sophie beside him. Linda folding laundry. Daniel near the window. It almost looks normal. Emma sits down. "I met him," she says. Ryan looks up immediately. "And?" Emma shrugs slightly. Calm. "That's it?" Sophie asks, raising an eyebrow. Emma nods. "That's enough." Linda watches her closely. "Did he say anything important?" Emma thinks for a second. "Then, he asked if I agreed." Ryan stiffens slightly. "And what did you say?" Emma looks at him. "I said yes." Ryan relaxes, but not completely. Sophie notices. She always does. Daniel hasn't spoken. Emma turns to him. "He seems honest," she says. Daniel's eyes meet hers. There's a flicker of something there. Doubt. "People seem honest," he replies quietly. Emma holds his gaze. "For how long?" Daniel doesn't answer. That night. Emma can't sleep. Not because she's anxious. Because something doesn't fit. She sits up, reaching for her laptop. Opens the files again. Audio. Photos. Documents. She scrolls through the financial records. Numbers. Dates. Transactions. Her eyes move faster now. More focused. Then. She stops. One entry. Different. Older. She clicks it open. A payment. Not recent. Not part of the current crisis. Her brows pull together slightly. She checks the date again. Then cross-references another document. Another entry. Same amount. Same recipient. But labeled differently. Emma leans closer to the screen. Her breathing slows. She pulls out her phone. Scrolls through older photos she took earlier. Finds the same name. Not connected to Ryan. Not Linda. Daniel. Emma sits back slowly. The room feels quieter than before. He said. I tried. Her fingers hover over the trackpad. Then she opens the audio file again. Daniel's voice fills the room. There's always a choice. This time, she hears it differently. Not as regret. As something unfinished. The next morning. Emma finds Daniel in the backyard again. Same place as before. He looks up when she approaches. You're up early, he says. Emma doesn't respond to that. She walks closer. Holds out her phone. The screen shows the transaction. Daniel's face changes instantly. Not shock. Recognition. You paid them, Emma says quietly. Daniel doesn't deny it. Not immediately. Emma watches him. Before this, she continues. Before the marriage. A long pause. Then Daniel exhales. I tried to stop it. The words land heavier than anything before. Emma's expression doesn't change, but something inside it does. You never told me. I couldn't. Emma's eyes sharpen slightly. Or you didn't. Daniel shakes his head. You don't understand. Then explain. His jaw tightens. For a moment, it looks like he won't. Then. Your mother and Ryan, they already made the agreement. Emma doesn't move. I thought if I paid part of the debt, they'd cancel it, he continues. I was wrong. Emma's grip tightens slightly around her phone. So you knew, she says. Yes. And you let it happen anyway. Daniel looks at her, something close to breaking in his expression. I ran out of time. Emma holds his gaze. No, she says softly. You ran out of courage. The words hit harder than shouting. Daniel doesn't defend himself. Because he can't. From the doorway. Sophie watches. Quiet. Unnoticed. Emma turns and walks back inside. Her steps are steady. But her mind isn't. Not anymore. Later. Her phone buzzes. A message from Alex. You're not what they think. Emma reads it once. Then again. Another message follows. And I don't think you're the only one pretending. Emma stares at the screen. Something shifts. Not doubt. Not fear. Something more dangerous. She types back slowly. Then stop pretending. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Then. Not yet. Emma lowers the phone. Her reflection stares back at her from the dark screen. For the first time. She's not sure she's the only one in control of this story anymore. The house feels different the next morning. Not louder. Just sharper. Like every word might cut a little deeper than before. Emma notices it immediately. Ryan is already dressed when she walks into the kitchen. That alone is unusual. You're up early, he says without looking at her. Emma pours herself water. So are you. Busy day. He says it too quickly. Emma leans against the counter, watching him. Something changed? Ryan finally looks up. What do you mean? You don't usually rush unless something's wrong. Ryan smiles, but it doesn't settle right. Nothing's wrong. Things are just moving. Emma nods slowly. Faster than expected. Ryan's eyes flicker. Yeah, he says. Something like that. Linda walks in, tension already in her shoulders. Emma, we need to talk about the engagement announcement, she says. Emma turns slightly. When? Soon. Maybe this week. Ryan cuts in. It should be soon. Linda glances at him, annoyed. I said soon. Emma watches the exchange carefully. You both sound nervous, she says. Neither of them answers. That tells her enough. Later. Emma sits in her room, phone in hand. She scrolls through her recordings, then stops. A new file sits at the top. Not hers. No timestamp she recognizes. No name. Just a number. Her eyes narrow slightly. She opens it. Sophie's voice. Clear. Careful. I don't think she knows everything yet. A man's voice responds, unfamiliar. Then why send this? Because if she finds out first, none of us benefit. Emma's fingers tighten around the phone. The recording continues. You said she agreed. She did, Sophie replies. But she's not. Simple. A pause. Then. You should be careful. The file ends. Emma sits very still. Then slowly lowers the phone. Sophie. Not just watching. Moving. Footsteps outside. Emma locks her screen just as Sophie knocks lightly and steps in without waiting. You're quiet today, Sophie says, leaning against the doorframe. Emma looks up. Should I be louder? Sophie smiles faintly. Depends who you want to hear you. Emma studies her face. You've been busy, Emma says. Sophie's expression doesn't change. I usually am. Emma tilts her head slightly. Talking to people I don't know? A pause. It's small. But real. Sophie recovers quickly. You're about to marry into a new family. You'll meet a lot of people you don't know. Emma holds her gaze. Some of them already seem to know me. Sophie's smile softens just a little. Maybe they're just curious. Emma nods. Or cautious. Neither of them looks away. That afternoon, Emma leaves the house without telling anyone. She doesn't rush. But she doesn't hesitate either. The same cafe. Alex is already there this time. He doesn't look surprised when she approaches. You picked the place, he says. Emma sits down. You picked the time. He nods slightly. Fair. She places her phone on the table. Screen facing down. I received something, she says. Alex's gaze drops briefly to the phone. Then back to her. From who? Emma watches him closely. That's what I'm asking you. A pause. Alex leans back, studying her. Do you think I sent it? I think you're involved, Emma replies calmly. He almost smiles. Careful, he says. That sounds like trust. It's not. Another pause. Emma slides the phone across the table. Listen. Alex hesitates for a fraction of a second. Then presses play. Sophie's voice fills the space between them. He doesn't interrupt. Doesn't react much either. But Emma notices. His fingers tighten slightly around the edge of the table. When the recording ends, Alex looks up. That's interesting, he says. Emma doesn't respond. She's watching him too closely for that. You didn't know, she says. It's not a question. Alex holds her gaze. No, he admits. That honesty lands harder than denial. Emma leans back slightly. So we both have problems. Alex exhales quietly. It seems that way. Emma tilts her head. The difference is, I expected mine. Alex studies her for a moment. Then maybe you should expect more. Emma's expression sharpens slightly. From you. From everyone. Silence settles between them. Not empty. Just, aware. Why did you agree to this? Emma asks suddenly. Alex doesn't answer immediately. Then. Because your family approached me first. Emma's eyes narrow slightly. That's not an answer. It's part of one. She waits. He continues, quieter now. They needed money. I needed something else. Emma leans forward slightly. What? Alex looks at her. For a moment, it seems like he might answer. Then. Not yet. Emma's jaw tightens just slightly. I don't like incomplete deals, she says. Alex nods. Neither do I. Back home. The tension has shifted again. Ryan is pacing. Linda sits stiffly on the couch. Sophie stands near the window, arms crossed. Emma walks in. No one speaks immediately. Then Ryan turns. Where were you? Emma sets her bag down calmly. Out. That's not an answer. Emma meets his gaze. It's enough. Ryan steps closer. You don't get to disappear right now. Emma doesn't move. Why not? Because this affects all of us. Emma tilts her head slightly. It always did. Linda stands up quickly. Stop. Both of you. But neither listens. Ryan's voice lowers. Did you meet him? Emma doesn't hesitate. Yes. And? Emma watches him. He's careful. Ryan frowns. What does that mean? It means he doesn't say everything he knows. A beat. Emma lets that sit. Then adds. Kind of like us. Sophie shifts slightly in the background. Emma notices. Of course she does. That night. Emma sits on her bed again. The room feels smaller now. More crowded. Not with people. With information. She opens a new folder. Not truth. Not this time. She types. Sophie. Then stops. Deletes it. Types again. Unknown variables. She leans back. Thinking. Replaying everything. The recording. Alex's reaction. Daniel's confession. Ryan's tension. Sophie's silence. Her phone buzzes. A new message. From Alex. You're not the only one being watched. Emma reads it once. Then looks up. Slowly. At her door. Closed. Still. She gets up. Walks to it. Opens it suddenly. The hallway is empty. But the air feels wrong. From somewhere down the hall. A faint sound. A door closing. Emma stands there for a moment. Then slowly smiles. Not out of relief. Not out of victory. But because now. She knows for certain. This isn't just her game anymore. The house wakes up earlier than usual. Voices overlap. Doors open and close. Someone drops something in the kitchen and swears under their breath. Emma sits in front of the mirror, already dressed. Simple. Clean. Nothing extravagant. She watches her reflection like she's studying a stranger. Her phone lies beside her. 3 folders. Truth 1. Truth 2. Unknown variables. She doesn't open them. Not yet. Linda steps into the room without knocking. You should be downstairs, she says, adjusting Emma's sleeve before she can respond. People will start arriving soon. Emma doesn't move. Linda pauses, then softens her voice. It's a big day. Emma meets her eyes in the mirror. For who? Linda hesitates. Then smiles faintly. For all of us. Emma looks away. Downstairs. Everything looks perfect. Too perfect. Flowers arranged carefully. Chairs aligned. Soft music playing in the background. Guests begin to arrive, voices polite and curious. Ryan moves through the room, shaking hands, smiling like this was always his plan. Sophie stands close to him, watching everything. Always watching. Emma notices the way Sophie's gaze lingers on her, on the doors, on people she doesn't recognize. Daniel stands near the back. Not greeting anyone. Not moving much at all. Emma walks toward him. You look like you're waiting for something, she says quietly. Daniel glances at her. Maybe I am. Emma studies his face. For what? He doesn't answer. Instead, he looks around the room. At some point, he says slowly, this stops being manageable. Emma follows his gaze. Maybe it already has. A voice cuts through. Ryan. Emma. She turns. He gestures toward the front. It's time. The ceremony begins. Simple. Efficient. Exactly how Ryan wanted it. Alex stands at the front. Calm. Still. When Emma walks toward him, his eyes meet hers. Not soft. Not cold. Just aware. They stand facing each other. The officiant speaks, but the words blur into the background. Emma doesn't hear them. She's watching everything else. Ryan's tight smile. Linda's careful composure. Sophie's unreadable expression. Daniel's stillness. And Alex, who isn't looking at the officiant anymore. He's watching her. Like he's waiting. Do you? I have something to say. Emma's voice is steady. Clear. The room shifts instantly. Ryan's smile disappears. Emma. She doesn't look at him. Just a minute. Her hand moves slightly. Not dramatic. Just enough. The screen behind them flickers. At first, confusion. Then, numbers. Documents. Audio. Voices filling the room. Ryan's voice. We just need her to stay like this until the wedding. A ripple moves through the guests. Linda's face drains of color. Turn it off. Emma doesn't move. More files. More voices. Sophie's voice now. She's not simple. The room grows louder. Whispers. Reactions. Recognition. Ryan steps forward. Emma, stop this. She turns her head slightly. Why? The question is quiet. But it lands harder than shouting. Security near the entrance starts paying attention. Phones come out. People begin recording. Emma looks back at the screen. Then at her family. You said this was for the family, she says. Her voice doesn't shake. So I thought everyone should understand what that means. Linda steps closer, her voice breaking. You're ruining everything. Emma meets her eyes. Wasn't that already happening? Ryan grabs her arm. Not hard. But enough. This isn't how this works, he says through clenched teeth. Emma looks down at his hand. Then back at him. No, she says softly. It's exactly how it works. She pulls her arm free. The screen changes again. Bank records. Transactions. Names. The room goes quieter this time. Because now, it's not just uncomfortable. It's serious. Daniel steps forward suddenly. Emma. His voice cuts through everything. She looks at him. Something in his expression is different. Not fear. Not guilt. Something heavier. Stop, he says. The word hangs there. Emma studies him. Why? Daniel swallows. Because this doesn't end the way you think. Emma's eyes narrow slightly. Then tell me how it ends. He doesn't answer. Because he can't. Or won't. Behind them. Alex finally speaks. That's enough. The room stills again. Emma turns to him. His expression hasn't changed much. But his tone has. He steps forward slightly. This isn't just your story, he says. Emma watches him carefully. I know. Alex shakes his head once. No, he says quietly. You don't. A pause. Small. But everything shifts inside it. Emma's phone buzzes in her hand. She didn't even realize she was holding it. A new message. Unknown number. Again. She looks down. Hesitates. Then opens it. If you show the last file, your father goes down with them. Emma freezes. Just for a second. But it's enough. Her eyes lift slowly. To Daniel. He's already looking at her. Like he knows. Or fears it. Ryan notices the hesitation immediately. What is it? He demands. Emma doesn't respond. Her grip tightens slightly around the phone. The room waits. Not quietly. But intensely. Emma looks at the screen behind her. Then back at her family. Then at Alex. Who is watching her. Not stopping her. Not helping her. Just waiting. For the first time. Emma hesitates. She turns back to the screen. Her hand moves. One more file. The last one. But she doesn't press it. Instead. She lowers her hand. The screen goes dark. Silence. Ryan stares at her. What are you doing? Emma doesn't answer. Linda looks confused. Why did you stop? Sophie's eyes narrow slightly. Daniel doesn't move. Emma looks at all of them. One by one. Then says quietly. This is enough. It doesn't feel like victory. It doesn't feel like defeat. It feels like something unfinished. Alex studies her carefully. You changed your mind. Emma shakes her head slightly. No. A pause. I changed the ending. But even as she says it, her phone is still in her hand. The message still on the screen. And somewhere in the room, someone is still watching. Because whatever she didn't reveal is still out there, waiting. The hall doesn't recover. Not after the screen goes dark. The silence isn't clean, it's fractured. People whisper in sharp bursts, like they're afraid to say too much but can't stay quiet either. Ryan is the first to move. "What did you do?" he snaps, his voice low but shaking. Emma doesn't answer. She's still holding her phone. Still seeing the message. Linda steps forward, grabbing Emma's wrist. "Fix this," she says urgently. "Turn it back on. Explain something." Emma gently pulls her hand away. "There's nothing to explain." "That's not true," Linda insists, her voice cracking now. "You don't do something like this and just stop." Emma looks at her. "I didn't stop," she says quietly. "I chose where to stop." Across the room, Alex is watching everything unfold without stepping in. But his attention isn't on the crowd. It's on Emma. Security begins moving in, not aggressively, but with purpose. Someone has already made calls. Too many people saw too much. Ryan notices. His composure cracks. "This wasn't supposed to happen," he mutters, more to himself than anyone else. Sophie finally steps forward, her tone sharper now. "Then maybe you shouldn't have treated it like a transaction." Ryan turns on her. "Don't start acting like you weren't part of this." Sophie doesn't flinch. "I was part of what I understood," she replies. "Not whatever this became." Emma watches them. The cracks are widening. Faster now. Daniel hasn't moved. He stands where he was, like everything is catching up to him all at once. Emma walks toward him. Slowly. The noise around them fades, not because it's gone, but because it doesn't matter. "You knew," she says quietly. Daniel nods. "Yes." Emma swallows. "And you still let it happen." His voice is barely above a whisper. "I thought I could fix it before it reached you." Emma's grip tightens around her phone. "It did reach me. I know." There's no defense in his voice. No excuses left. Emma looks down at the phone again. The message is still there. "If you show the last file, your father goes down with them." Her thumb hovers over the screen. Then she locks it. Behind them, Alex finally steps closer. Not too close. Just enough. "You're not done," he says. Emma doesn't look at him. "I am." Alex shakes his head slightly. "No. You stopped because something changed." Emma turns to him now. "And you knew it would." It's not a question. A small pause. Then Alex exhales. "Yes." Ryan hears that. His head snaps toward them. What is he talking about? Emma doesn't answer. She's watching Alex now. "Say it," she says. Alex looks around the room once. At the guests. At the family. At the damage already done. Then back at Emma. "My company didn't just accept the deal," he says calmly. "We investigated your family before agreeing to anything." Ryan scoffs. "That's standard." Alex doesn't look at him. "We found irregularities." Now the room shifts again. Different tension. Emma's eyes narrow slightly. "What kind of irregularities?" Alex holds her gaze. "The kind that don't start with your brother." Silence. Emma feels it before she fully understands it. She turns. Slowly. Back to Daniel. Daniel's face has gone pale. He doesn't deny it. "That's the worst part." Linda steps in quickly. This is not the time." Alex cuts in, calm but firm. "It became the time the moment the deal was made." Emma's voice is quieter now. "Before this?" she asks. Daniel nods. Her chest tightens, but she doesn't let it show. "What did you do?" Daniel struggles for a second. Then, "I made a bad investment years ago," he says. "I covered it up. Borrowed money I couldn't return." Emma doesn't move. "From who?" Daniel hesitates. Alex answers instead. "From people connected to me." That lands harder than anything else. Emma looks between them. Realization settles slowly, but completely. "This wasn't random," she says. Alex nods once. "No." Ryan lets out a short, disbelieving laugh. "So what? This was revenge?" Alex finally looks at him. If it was revenge, it would have been simpler. Emma's voice is steady. Then what was it? Alex takes a moment before answering. Leverage, he says. At first. A pause. Then something else. Emma watches him carefully. What changed? Alex meets her eyes. You didn't behave the way I expected. That almost sounds like respect. Almost. Behind them, the situation is unraveling quickly. Authorities have arrived. Questions are being asked. Names are being written down. Ryan is arguing with someone. Linda is trying to hold everything together and failing. Sophie stands apart now, no longer pretending to belong in the middle of it. Emma looks at all of it. The noise. The damage. The truth. Then back at Daniel. You should have told me, she says. He nods, eyes filled with something close to regret. I know. Emma exhales slowly. You didn't protect me, she says. Daniel closes his eyes briefly. I know. For a moment, it looks like she might say more. But she doesn't. Because there's nothing left that changes anything. She turns away. Alex watches her. Where are you going? He asks. Emma doesn't stop walking. Away. That's not an answer. Emma pauses near the exit. Then looks back at him. It's enough. He considers that. Then nods slightly. This time. He doesn't follow. Outside, the air feels different. Quieter. But not lighter. Emma stands there for a moment. Her phone still in her hand. The last file still unopened. She looks at it. Thinks. Then. Deletes it. Not because it doesn't matter. But because she chooses what does. Inside, everything continues to fall apart. But she's no longer part of it. Emma walks forward. Not fast. Not slow. Just steady. For the first time. No one is deciding for her. And whatever comes next will be hers.